Good afternoon, President.
Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well.
I'm just out in Brandon right now at a regional meeting, of course, and always somewhere on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And, well, we're getting ready, of course, for the annual assembly and the regions. We, of course, cover the entire province, and this is where a lot of them start organizing their regional meetings to prepare for the assembly in case there's resolutions or motions that they believe need to be brought to the table, especially if they touch the Constitution in some form or fashion. You need to give updates and give people the, sort of the warning what's coming so they can properly have a dialogue on it. So it's good to see these regional meetings happen, of course, but they go through the business and their own audits, their own financial statements, their own updates on programs and services. And Leah LaPlanche, of course, always working hard to have her region competitive as any other region out there. And I kind of smile a little bit when Leah and Francis, sometimes as the Minister of Early Learning Childcare, was also the Vice President of the South Northwest. And they sometimes compete, how many people attended their regional meeting, what programs or buildings or initiatives they're doing and advancing. So it's good to see that competitiveness in our nation and actually just makes things better. We actually, I understand you have Cassandra Willever, Métis branded company that actually takes, I think, old clothing and refurbishes it to a new trend, a new style of clothing.
Yeah.
She was on your show. She left already.
She just had out. Yeah, she has two little ones, 6 and 8. They were swinging from the rafters, and we sugared them up. So she's like, "I gotta go."
Anyways, so good that you came on the show, Cassandra. It's always good to see. And that program, having our Métis businesses come on, is really great. I think it's a great opportunity for promotion.
Yeah.
Sometimes the pride that it sends to our people out there that, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you can. But here's the challenges, here's the hardships, but here's also the good things, and here's some of the things that can make a big difference in your life. But going back to this, of course, the AGA that's taking place at 7 Million Downs, and I know everybody's getting pumped up for it. It's October 18th to the 20th, and don't forget, I know this is an important part for the seniors, the elders, a lot of them, they still love bingo. So there's a monster bingo taking place on Friday, on the 18th. Ticket sales start at 6 o'clock. Early bird games start at 7 o'clock. Regular bingo is at 7:30. And I believe there's two blackouts for $5,000 each. And then, of course, a bunch of games throughout the thing. So you could go with $5,000 cash in your wallet or a check. It's up to you. And I know the bingo before was a $1,000 blackout.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to change to give two chances to somebody else. So two $5,000 blackouts will take place for sure. So it's about $50,000 in prizes. And so I look forward to seeing many people laughing and having a good time and that being part of that. And all the proceeds actually go to bereavement. Of course, we still help in our funerals and the cost of those things that really put a lot of pressure on families, especially when they're grieving and having a challenging time. So it's important that we do our part to help out as much as we can, to take as much pressure off the family, and that they can focus on trying to heal and go through the hardships sometimes of losing their loved ones. So again, but speaking of grieving and funerals, we also announced today that we have now purchased Rapid City Memorials, which is for headstones. It's located in Dauphin and Brandon and Rapid City itself. The general manager is Terry Cameron and Christy Miller. So it's a new purchase, a new business we bought.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, we're pushing out there to get our people to start looking at our memorial structure and business, to look at buying headstones from us and pushing them in the First Nations. And, of course, we decorate and develop them to your liking. And so I'm just part of, again, an expansion of our Métis business arm, sharing and spreading itself throughout the province, but touching in all factors of the economy. So proud day for us. I also was in Ottawa last week. I just came back. We are finalizing on an offer to a building. We will be buying another building in Ottawa. We already have a tenant for it. All we have to do is now finish off the deal with the private sector, buy the building, and then we have a tenant which will cover the mortgage, and then in the future will be all earnings of revenue to our government, and at the same time another capital acquisition of value in the long-term vision we have at our government. So another kudos to the Federation as we expand capital investment. As you know, we have a big impact downtown. We're also looking at another building downtown. We're going to start negotiation on that shortly, and we will be announcing that once we believe that we're in the right level, right pricing, and the right transfer of authority. So we're getting close to that one, and that'll be another big announcement for us downtown. We're actually already filling up our 333, the 24-story high-rise we bought.
Wow.
We're actually negotiating with some new tenants. They're very eager to come in there. We also are finishing off setting up 200 Main with new tenants, and we're very happy to see them come there. We believe that it's starting to see a movement downtown. We see the business arms starting to come back from home to work, and that makes such a big difference. So this morning we also had some guests. We had the mayor, of course, that was here, and then we had Minister Samard, which is also here, and they did an excellent job, of course, in speaking on behalf of the government of Manitoba and, of course, on the city of Brandon, all citizens in Brandon. We did talk again on the ongoing investments we foresee in Brandon. Of course, the mayor is very excited about that investment and looking forward to us coming here. We're looking at building immediate daycare center to be open as soon as possible, but building a new facility. We have a daycare center in the present building, which we renovated. It's not open, but it will be open shortly now. Just for Brandon listeners out there, and of course our Métis families who are all eager to get a daycare center somewhere, a childcare center, so they can put their children in a safe environment and a culture-sensitive environment where they can go to work and bring more income to their families. But they need to make sure that the childcare center is proper and safe. So we definitely, the mayor is quite pleased about that announcement today, and looking forward to, as I said, potentially building another apartment in Brandon. For sure, pharmacies coming to Brandon. That's something we're looking at right now. And so we're going to do our part in the city. Has seen what we've done in Selkirk, what we've done in DePaul, St. George, Winnipeg, all these different locations, the impact we're making, and they're very pleased to see that the Métis have now focused their attention towards Brandon. I want to say some happy birthdays before I move on to some business. Happy birthdays going out to Minister Bernadette Smith. She's the Minister of Housing, Homelessness, and Addictions, and her cousin. And they're celebrating her birthday yesterday. It's October 14th. Put her age in here. What's that? So you're shy to tell your age or what? Anyways, her age is not in here. So, Bernadette, how old are you? So, of course, she's always working hard. That lady, she's been a champion and advocate, and that's why she became a politician. And she's trying to make a big difference, of course. And it's a hell of a task she has on homelessness and addiction. That's fundamentally some massive challenges. So we'll work with her, try to help out in which way we can. And I also want to say happy birthday going to Walter Chartrand, celebrating his birthday Wednesday, October 9th. That's my nephew. Happy birthday. I think it's my nephew because the son's name is Walter and the father's name is Walter, my brother. But he lives in Alberta, so it must be his son. Happy birthday is going to Aaron Dong, housing and property manager. He does the steel frame housing for us. Happy birthday, Aaron. Friday, October 11th is his birthday. And Diana Lavalley, out of Selkirk, October 5th, sits in the LAC and takes her job very seriously at a university. I think she'll go to university, still. And she takes her job very, very serious. So Diana, happy birthday coming from the president and, of course, the government and your mom and the rest of the family. So, congratulations also going happy 20th anniversary to, speaking of my brother, Walter and Lynn Chartrand, wishing you both many, many happy more years together. I hope he's listening out in Alberta. And if not, I'll ask him for sure why the hell wasn't he listening. His name's on my list here. But on other matters, I had a chance to meet with the Minister of Indigenous Services Canada. He was in town on Friday. We had a very good meeting for about over 2 hours. And the meeting went excellent. Of course, it was about the treaty, the state of the treaty. As you know, that's something we announced in our assembly, and there was a lot of tears and cheers and pride and everything that was going through it. And then we were anticipating that it would move much more quicker on the next process. There are many processes that have to go through. To do a treaty, you've got to negotiate every word, every sentence, every comma. And then there's the whole issue of the taxation, just the power of what the treaty will be able to impose itself on. And clearly, it's more principled document than anything. It's not a money document. It's a principled document. But it's something that was promised 154 years ago. A promise was made that a treaty would happen and negotiation would happen, of course, by John A. Macdonald, the promise he made. But instead of doing that, he sent an army. to go after us. So that was unfortunate that the treaty never took its full course. Some of it did happen. The Manitoba Act, for example, you see the land claims for us, and which we won in 2013, and I'm hoping we are going to negotiate. I did raise that with the minister. Now that we seem to have concluded our treaty consultations, the next steps will be, so people know it's not just the minister has no authority on independently to make a decision. What the minister has the power to do is to work with you to go through the next steps. So now that we did the consultations, I'm in Ottawa all week, next week, most of the week. I'm meeting with the Conservatives, I'm meeting with the Green Party, I'm meeting with the Bloc Québécois, and I'm meeting, of course, with the Liberals. And I'm making sure from senators to ministers to MLA, MPs, that they are fully aware of what this treaty is, what every word means, and the purpose of it. So I don't want to find ourselves in a situation where there's confusion and then misunderstandings, and then all of a sudden the treaty is held up in debate. So we need to get this treaty done. Like I said, we're very patient people. 154 years, it's always very patient. But our patience is wearing thin. So we need to get this done. I told the minister I'm very pleased, finally, that all consultations are completed, and now it's to move to the next steps that take place before a treaty is finalized and legislated in law in this country. So I'm very, very proud of that. The people were so happy here today when I announced it. A lot of cheers and happy feelings of knowing that their dream and that they had at the Assembly a couple of years ago is coming to reality now, and that we're not far from it. So, as I said, I'll be lobbying next week in Ottawa and continually pushing to educate all political parties that there's nothing here to be afraid of, and every Canadian should be supporting this. We talk about reconciliation, we talk about respect of rights and the Constitution. Well, clearly, at the end of the day, there's not a question that the Métis need to find their rightful place in Canada. We helped build this country, went to war for this country, went overseas for this country, to defend its brand and its name. And, of course, we paid the ultimate price in standing up for protecting the land to the west and supporting and partnering with our First Nations in the west, standing up and fighting for them, too. Because remember, at one time, there was 12,000 people that lived here in 1869, 1870, and out of that, 10,000 of them were Métis. So we are a dominant force of the West. We had a military style of a community, and we would take on anyone that would try to challenge our right to land and our right to have our family raised in a place that they believe was theirs. Mm-hmm. That leads me to another point. As you know, Dakota Treaty, or Dakota the Sioux, have decided to take a claim not only against me as the Métis, but as the Red River, but against the First Nations also, including the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, and the Plains Cree and the Cree. They've taken a position, the Sioux, that the forks and all those surrounding area is exclusively theirs. So that's going to be interesting what role the First Nations will do. This treaty won't give up its right that it's their land, and all of a sudden it's now become Sioux land. So that's an interesting dilemma that's occurring on the First Nation side. But I assure you this, we are going to take intervener or party status. We are going to challenge the Sioux on this issue because their history doesn't prove they were here. They came in and out a few times, but they're really American-based people. And they did come in and out of Canada, but not in the longevity of living and being here and staying here and fighting for it. So we did without question. So because there was a letter recently also after they filed their claim in court, there was a letter that we should have no right to be actually negotiating with hydro or any component of private sector or government sector pertaining to our place. Where do we fit in society and where do we fit in from a Section 35 rights people? Where do we fit in? Well, they're saying, you don't fit in, you don't belong here. Well, Christ almighty, we made this province, we fought for this province, we died for this province, and without us, I don't know what would have happened to the First Nation at that time. And if the Sioux want to talk about any type of battle, we fought in the Battle of Coteau, which we won against the Sioux back in the United States, and we also were here. And they did not come to battle with us then because we were a strong military force, and they would not come here. In fact, there's so much history that we're compiling right now to prove our facts, prove our position. So I don't know where they're coming from, why they're doing it. I don't have the answer to that. I'm sure the First Nations are scratching their head too. I'm sure the Ojibwe, the Cree are scratching their head saying, what the hell do you mean this is yours exclusively? Because Treaty 1 has made late claim, which I respect. I've always respected Treaty 1 and the rest of the treaties, and as they respect mine. So, again, it's interesting news, but you'll see some of that coming out in the media. You also see an article come out where we are filing a case against the province of Manitoba regarding the aspect of the effects of what has happened to the CSA funds. As you know, we won a big case together with the First Nations. We sued the government and won a $530 million settlement, the biggest in Manitoba history. In fact, we're anticipating those checks to be received from the province. I'm sure the First Nations waiting as we are to come to our government so we can start issuing checks to those who have the right to those checks based on the time they stayed and were kept in the child welfare system. So it's from 2005 to 2019. So there's, as I said, some of them will be quite large sums of payment that'll go out, but we're going to work with them, make sure that we're not just giving here's a check for $60,000 and then somebody take advantage of them. So we're going to sit down with them, advise them. We'll help them with a bank account. We'll help them organize investments if they want. We'll help them move forward in any capacity we can to make sure that they don't just have the money in their pocket. Next thing, they're broke a month later. So we're going to try to work with them, but it's their money. Is all we can do is try. But I'll give it all my best effort to give the best advice I can and help them any way we can. So again, that's another event that's really caught us completely off guard, that we'd see the Sioux taking us on and taking on the First Nations, the other First Nations, meaning the Ojibwe and the Saulteaux and the Cree. And so that'll be interesting what steps they'll do to protect their territory and their jurisdiction. So we'll see. We'll probably have no choice but to stand together. But clearly, from the other side of the coin, we talk about harvesting. The Manitoba Federation is also suing the province that they believe that they should be entitled to more tags, more rights to more harvest game, and they want more issued licenses to them. And they're also complaining that's their right also. And I've seen even some, I think Rick, MLA from the Swan River, Rick Woodchuck, he's saying that they have equal rights. I don't know where he's getting it from, Rick. If you're listening to me, you show me in a court of this country where that rights are the same as Métis and First Nation. I know for a fact you have Section 35 in the Constitution, which makes it very clear it's our right. But I do know the law in this country, and the law makes it very clear that the other non-Indigenous people have privileges, not rights. Big difference, big fundamental difference. Mm-hmm. Now we're not saying that non-Indigenous people should not have the right, not the right, the privilege to go and harvest and feed for a family or go for a sport. It's their business. But when it comes to rights and protection of the Constitution, without doubt, we have that. And the non-Indigenous people have privileges. Now, they're going out spreading the wrong message. So did the leader of the Conservative Party, and I expressed that in a retaliation correspondence back, that you're misinforming the people. So don't try to mislead people just for some votes. Tell the true facts and the way the facts should be told. Now, we are sending a message to the Manitoba Federation. If you believe you have the same rights we fought and died for, shed blood for in this country, then go to the courts like we did. Go to the courts, and what you're doing, go to the courts and say, we have equal rights. Well, then we'll see what the courts decide. And I'm sure that'll be quite interesting as we go forward. I'm going to watch it happen. If it goes higher to the higher courts, I'll probably take it to Vena. But right now, I'm going to watch what happens and how it plays out. But clearly, at the end of the day, it's unfortunate, because here's the question. Here's what I just announced today, along with my ministers that are here, and I'll announce this at the Assembly. We are looking at in partnership with the province. We are quite concerned with the count of, for example, moose. Mm-hmm. The population is rapidly declining, and we need a plan. We all need a plan here. And so for the Métis, before what we did on the mountains, we closed the mountains ourselves. We had a closure for 5 years, and we announced that without the province telling us we had to. It was our goal and our responsibility as conservationists that we protect the big game and to protect the next generation to have the same privilege we have. So we did indicate that the numbers they're telling us today, the province, is the numbers are dropping rapidly. So I think that we'll be sitting down with the province. We'll reach out to the First Nations. I think as chiefs and the president and our minister, we need to sit down and come to terms with how do we work together to salvage and refurbish, again, the opportunity for big game to grow and to be there for the next young generation. Because if not, then we fail the next generation. There's nothing left for them to take. So clear that's a big issue, Naomi, and it's going to be a heated topic, hot topic. Mm-hmm. But clearly, one, I think our people understand. And right now, we do have harvesters out there, and we're cautioning them to be careful. We're also cautioning them at the same time to follow the Métis laws of harvest, keep the harvester card with them in case conservation stops them, and at the same time making sure that they share their take. If they kill the most, you can do most by yourself. Now, I mean, one family, it's a big chunk of meat there, shared with the elders, shared with others, as we always traditionally have done as a people. So that's the message we have. We also have private land where we have 3 pockets of land. We have bought privately for harvesting, and we have tags issued there. You have to apply, and there are people harvesting them right now, and we're really pleased with the response we're getting from the people. They're very, very cautious. We've warned them not to go into the next bush territory or field. That's not ours, because that's private sector, and you need approval. So we're working with the private sector, our neighbors also, and they seem to be very cooperative with us and finishing off we do. But still, it will become an issue. We need to have that talk, that discussion. What do we do next, and how do we move forward? And do we do closures again? Do we have to do closures? So also, we talked about here, we have the business economy is really growing. There's 751 registered businesses, Métis businesses at the Blue Rail Capital Corporation. And out of that, there's a big chunk that comes out of the Southwest. 57 of them businesses come out of this region. But those regions are creating a lot of jobs, bringing good revenue into their families, into their companies, and it's making a big difference in so many areas and ways. And this is where it's so important to keep the data. And people say, well, why are you telling us this? Because really, at the end of the day, the province, for example, in Manitoba, is working on a procurement strategy. The Premier wants to make sure he's got a good procurement in this province, but so is Canada. Canada is really renewing and reviewing its procurement. And people say, what the hell is procurement? Well, procurement is where the governments, including my government, have a set aside and commit so much of our expenditures that we're doing to committing to a certain party or partner. And for Canada, for Indigenous people, and for the province of Manitoba, they want to try, given that First Nation Métis sometimes don't have equal footing, given location, given the resources available, or the products that truly can make a difference, and the opportunity to sell is sometimes challenging, especially when you go international or just within our country, and even within our province and within our region, it becomes challenging. So, but they create a program called procurement, which assures that Indigenous people will be part of it. But we saw the fraud of over $1 billion or several $1 billion in Canada already, where people were faking that they were Indigenous, but taking on these big opportunities and taking away all their money from Indigenous people. So that is important. That's why the registration of businesses are so important, and we expect people to keep on doing that. By the way, our trappers are doing very well. We have 13 trappers from this region alone. I think we've to date spent and purchased $180,000 in furs, and we paid top price for it. And at the end of the day, our artisans are so proud of it because they get a chance to use it. Now, you heard me say we're looking at a court case with the province, but we're also potentially looking at a strike that's coming, because our Child and Family Services is unionized, because you remember it came from the province, so they followed through the union. And so the union's talking about raises, they're talking about equality of payment, which we're not opposed to. We're not fighting that, but we don't fund it. It's the province that funds it based on their policies. And so the province is really right now shortchanging the investment to Child and Family Services to children. They're using 2013 numbers as a balance. So when you look at it, we're 2024, 11 years behind. So we're really short, given the transfer that should be happening. And really, then how do we give raises if the province is not giving us the proper funding? So that issue is being raised at the province right now, and then there's a potential strike that will happen. But what's got to be taken seriously is we're putting children at risk. This sometimes can be life and death. One mistake in this area, in this field, can cause great harm. And so we're warning the government of Manitoba, you need to come to the table. You need to find the proper funding. You can't use 2013 funding models because they're too far behind. And like the General Authority, for example, which is run by the government, their salaries are bigger and greater than ours. But their funding is directly from the province. And they keep in line with their union there. But ours, they treat us differently. So there's a study actually being conducted right now based on the funding formula by our government. And Gord McIntosh, the previous Minister of Justice, a lawyer himself, is conducting that review, and we'll make that public very, very soon. So I'm hoping that we don't end up in a strike position. But the sad part about it, even if we met the demands of the union, we have to lay off people. because we can't afford races at the same time keeping everybody.
Right.
Yet we need everybody to keep the children safe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really touchy one, and I'm worried about. I know the province is saying we got to deal with our debt, but first of all, the demo better deal with their situation here, where they're going to be putting children at risk and can cause some serious damage. We also had a chance to meet with the Ontario First Nations. The regional chief, Abraham Benedict, was here. We're looking at our second conference now in Ontario. We're looking forward to heading that way. We hosted the first one is the MMF, and Ontario Chiefs will host the second one. And so it's going to be a lot of good discussions, and going to have some experts and professionals there. But we're also looking at possibly raising a stronger position in federal legislation that would be a crime, a serious crime, for identity theft, identity fraud, that would be held where there's a position of what a justice system would be very vigorous in their decisions and give the judiciary the power to make those decisions if somebody's going to steal our identity for the betterment of their self or for money or for greed. So that's something we're going to be talking about at this conference and a few other matters. Mm-hmm. But procurement will be one for sure we'll be talking about. And again, the identity itself. We're seeing some universities, even we're reaching out to the University of Manitoba. We have some concerns there right now because they're saying the freedom of academic has to be there. The professors have a right to say what they want to do or negotiate or speak on a subject or talk about a subject. It's up to their right. But if they're infringing on our rights, for example, identity, then there's a problem there. So if you're going to recognize other peoples that aren't Métis and you're using your university to do so through free academia, then you have a problem with us, and you're going to have a problem with First Nation, I'll show you that. So we're looking at that right now very strongly with the University of Manitoba, mm-hmm. and we may find ourselves in a controversial position if the university does not take respect to the Métis, our definition, and what we fought so hard for. So again, as I said, there's so much going on at the Federation. I can't wait for the Assembly to come. I look forward to the Assembly, seeing all our elders come in, our locals, our leaders, coming from everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to making sure that we do our best, hold our best event to make sure our people are comfortable and safe. And again, bring your little cooler if you have, as we traditionally have done in partnership with the Buham colony. They bring in the freshest and best big chickens we send everybody home with. And people say, what the hell are you giving chickens? That's a gift. When you go to somebody's house, they're supposed to give you a gift. Mm-hmm. And that's our gift to them, to take home a nice potential dinner for the ones that couldn't make it. Because we can only handle so much people that come to our assembly. We'll have 4,000 people there, but that's all we can fit. We can't fit any more. And then, of course, we'll have lots by TV and satellite, I guess, the internet joining us from different provinces, because we have thousands and thousands of citizens that got their citizenship card out somewhere else. They'll be joining us also, too. So we're looking forward to that. So bring a little cooler just in case. I know we're going to have vegetables, and, of course, the colony donates potatoes every year to the people, mm-hmm. and I really like that relationship and partnership we have with them. So, again, before I close off, I want to say a special, best wishes first. Best wishes going to the speedy recovery to Jocelyn Conway, Al Desartes' daughter at Elsie Bear's Kitchen, and also to Shirley Lard and Mary Lou Leclerc. So, best wishes, speedy recovery. We miss Jocelyn already, seeing her smiling face in the background. She's smoking and running the restaurant downstairs. So, hopefully get better, Jocelyn. We'll see you soon at your restaurant. Mm-hmm. And also, I want to say big kudos to your baseball star I see here, Sarah Popo. She actually went to Kansas and competed over there in baseball. They did lose, but she said we played hard, and we gave it all we had. Aww. So I'm very proud of her, and going all the way to Kansas, and the only Canadian team that went. And so I'm very, very proud of that. So again, it's good to see our youth and our athletes getting together and moving in that direction. Of course, don't forget our youth camps. They're still working on that. And if people want a career in that area, please reach out to the Federation. We're hiring. We're trying to hire as much as we can. There will be no winter camp, but we'll start in the spring. And then in the future, we're going to have both spring, summer, fall, and winter camps. So awesome. We're looking to hire more people in that area. So get out there, get your application aside there. And I know there's many Métis athletes we have out there. Even Kerry Anderson's come back and join us. Conrad Dewar will come and join us. And his sign's going up into Paw shortly. We're waiting for NHL to tell us there's no problem with the NHL stamp. I think that's on there. But we should have no problem with that, but it's taking bureaucratically so long. I want that Connor Dewar sign. I want that Kerry Anderson sign up. I think it's going in Gimli or it's going in Selkirk, one or the other. But that's how proud we are of these athletes that have become professionals.
Yeah.
And there's more and more of them out there, so we want to make sure it's going like this. Also, for those listening, I'll close off with this. There's, of course, as you know, the Métis government has put aside $1 million to assist to find those loved ones that have been lost and have not been found. Mm-hmm. And this is not Métis, we do it for First Nations also and others. So if you have a family loved one that's been lost for years now in the cold cases, for example, reach out to the Federation, and we pay for the sign, we pay for the information out there, and we put a $10,000 reward for any information that will bring our loved one back home. So again, take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next Saturday. I look forward to seeing you at the Assembly. And for those Monster Bingo, don't forget, it's coming around the corner. Make sure you're lined up to get your tickets. And Elders, I'll try to figure out something for you to make sure that you don't have to stand in line. I'll get the team working on that right away. And for the wood that's being delivered, thank you very much for those that are being so grateful for the team that's delivering the free wood to their houses to keep them warm. So take care, everybody. We'll talk to you next Saturday.
Okay, take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.